So, many of times I have been scrolling through YouTube and I'll see these ads for commercial real estate, how easy it is to get into commercial real estate, how you blink and you make a couple million. And can you speak to what the reality of commercial real estate is compared to how it's represented on social media, and any helpful tips you could give someone who's considering investing in commercial real estate?
Yeah, well, and I think the biggest thing, it's a great question, by the way. The biggest thing that's really kind of funny to me, I think we think of commercial real estate, we think of rental properties as commercial real estate, which
Right.
technically it falls in that bucket. And there is a lower barrier to entry to get into rental properties. So you can buy a house and you can then rent it out and buy another house and rent it out. And, you can have a primary residence in a rental property and be in the commercial real estate game. But I think if you're really talking about commercial real estate, if you're talking about, a large office building, a hospital, apartment building, a strip center, a Walmart, a Target, a museum, if you're talking about kind of big boy real estate, there's a huge barrier to entry. And that barrier to entry is called equity. And that equity comes from liquidity. And in our community, we have a problem because we have the wealth gap. So
Right.
what I'm saying is in Nashville, you're not going to buy a commercial piece of property in a prime location in the 15-mile radius from downtown, probably less than $1 million. So typically, if you're buying $1 million piece of property, you're going to need at least, I'm going to just be on the safe side and say 20% equity in that property. That's $200,000. So in other words, if you come trying to buy $1 million property and you got $75,000 in your checking account, savings account, and you got $25,000 with Marcus, which they need to have more with Marcus. They need to have more with you, right, Marcus? A little bit more.
Man, you better speak that.
You're not going to be able to qualify for that property. And so let's just ratchet it up. Let's scale it up to $10 million. If you're trying to buy a $10 million property for this dream, I'm working on a $10 million deal right now. That's $2.5 million in the deal, okay? And so sometimes that's hard equity cash. Sometimes you might already own the land. Sometimes you get guarantors to make that up, but it's not a simple transaction to purchase $1 million deal. And I'll tell you, at that level, we are really caught up in credit score. Credit score is very important, but I promise you, every deal that I've done north of $5 million, the credit score, I don't even remember discussing the credit score. It's not about the credit score. It's about cash flow and liquidity. The way banks look at it, I'm going to take you on the weeds a little bit. The way banks